You're now listening to Soul Radio. Today, we return with part 2 of our series, Coffee by the Window. Thank you for being here, and thank you for listening. There are days when the rain seems endless. It doesn't just fall on rooftops, it spills quietly into our hearts, filling them with invisible silences. In the middle of that rain, we feel small, alone, and lost in a kind of sorrow that feels too heavy to carry. But then the rain stops. And in the midst of that overcast sky, a soft beam of light quietly stretches across the clouds. A rainbow appears. It's not loud, not dazzling. Just quietly, breathtakingly beautiful. Perhaps that's life's way of reminding us. After every storm, gentleness will return. Human life is much the same. At some point, we all experience loss, moments so painful it feels like our entire world is falling apart. But what sets us apart is not the pain, but how we choose to rise after it. How we hold our wounds close and still walk forward with a heart that still remembers how to smile. Because even if the sky is dark today, tomorrow the rainbow will come up. For those who are strong enough to wait for the sun. Life has never been a smooth journey. Just as the sky can't always be clear, life, too, will bring sudden storms. No one welcomes sorrow, but it walks beside us quietly, an unseen companion on this human journey. Each of us has, at least once, sat on a porch somewhere, heart heavy with a loss. A loved one who's gone, an unfinished dream, or a version of ourselves we no longer recognize. Some pain has no name. It simply lingers in silence, quietly gnawing at our soul when night falls. Some tears fall wordlessly in the dark, unseen, but powerful enough to drench an entire chapter of our lives. There are days we wake up, look around, and find no trace of light. Everything feels meaningless. Even comforting words somehow deepen the emptiness inside. And in those moments, we ask, why me? But in truth, pain doesn't choose. It visits everyone, whether rich or poor, strong or fragile, cheerful or sorrowful. Grief doesn't care about age, gender, or circumstance. It's a part of life, just like the darkness that follows the day, like winter before spring. Today, you might be smiling, but tomorrow, a single phone call could collapse your entire world. And yet, strangely enough, it is these very losses that shape the soul. They strip us of selfishness, teach us empathy, and help us love more deeply. They remind us that even the most ordinary moments are precious. It is through falling that we learn to rise. It's in the moments when we have nothing left that we begin to truly cherish everything we still have. Without pain, how would we ever know what happiness truly feels like? Without darkness, how could we ever see the light at the end of the road? So if you're hurting today, don't be ashamed. Cry if you need to. Let yourself be soft when you're tired. But please remember this, the rain will pass. And behind those heavy clouds, a rainbow is quietly waiting for you, steadfast and gentle, like hope quietly pulsing in the heart of someone who refuses to give up. Pain means we are still alive. But if all we ever do is live in pain, then what is life but a song stuck forever on a single low note? We cannot rewrite the past. We can't undo what's been done. The ones who left won't return. The dreams that shattered won't be whole again. And the wounds, even when healed, will still leave behind faint scars. But if we sit still, clinging to sorrow as if it were comfort, we are the ones locking ourselves in a cage of memory. Life outside continues. The flowers still bloom. The sun still rises each morning, not for one person's pain, but for the rhythm of life itself. We cannot live forever in a cocoon of suffering. Because if we never dare to emerge, we will remain broken pieces, never a whole being. Pain is not to blame. But letting it steer our lives, letting it make us fear happiness, fear love, fear trust again, that's the real tragedy. To overcome pain is not to forget it. No one forgets the memories that made them cry. But healing is when we look back with calm eyes. We accept that there are things we cannot hold on to, people who were only meant to walk with us for a while, and stories that cannot be rewritten, and that too is a part of fate. Everyone has the right to feel pain, but no one should choose to live in it forever. Standing up is hard. Taking the next step is even harder. But every time we do, even just a small step, we win a quiet victory over ourselves. You don't have to be strong right away. You just have to not give up. Give yourself time. Be gentle with your heart. And one day, when you look back, you'll be surprised to see. Wow, I've come so far. There's still so much out there waiting for you to live again. A clear morning breeze drifting through your window. A message from an old friend who still remembers. A favorite song playing softly in a quiet cafe. The laughter of a child echoing down a street corner. And above all, your heart still beating, still able to love, to feel, and to hope. Do you know? Sometimes you don't need to do anything grand to overcome pain. Sometimes it's enough to wake up one more morning, to comb your hair, to walk out the door, to eat a warm meal. That alone is a victory. And slowly, gently, in those little things, you'll find yourself again whole and beautiful in a completely new way. Remember, you are not a victim of your pain. You are a survivor. And that in itself is already a miracle. Have you ever noticed how the sky seems clearer after the coldest rain? Raindrops clinging to leaves sparkling like crystals in the morning light. That's not magic. That beauty was always there. We just forgot how to see it while it rained. The joy of life is the same. It doesn't disappear. It's not stolen. It doesn't fall away. It merely sleeps, hidden in a quiet corner of the soul, waiting for us to be brave enough, patient enough to call its name again. After heartbreak, people often say, "I'm no longer the person I used to be." And they're right. But that's not a bad thing. Because the me of today, though once shattered, carries a heart that has learned how to heal. We don't need to be who we were before. We just need to become a gentler version of ourselves. The joy of life doesn't always come from something big. Sometimes it's just a warm meal after a long day. The bird song in a quiet morning. The feeling of being listened to without judgment. The wide-eyed trust of a child. Or the simple moment when we can smile genuinely, even if just for a heartbeat. This life, even when covered in storms, still hides countless gentle things beneath. A moving page in a good book. An old song. A spontaneous bus ride. A stranger's smile in a crowded street. We thought we had lost everything. But in truth, life was quietly placing small miracles into our hands. We just needed to open our hearts once more. And sometimes to find joy again, we don't need to go far. We only need to come back to ourselves. Slow down enough to hear our own breath, to feel our heart still beating for the little things. All we need is the courage to believe, even just once, that we still deserve to be happy again. Because living isn't just surviving. It's feeling, loving, and letting sunlight touch the darkest corners of our soul. And when we dare to open the door, the rainbow will appear. No promises, no conditions. It will come quietly as life's silent blessing. To the one who chose to keep going. You may have fallen. You may have shattered. But you are still here. Still trying. Still searching for a way back. And that, right there, is the most beautiful light within a human being. Some pain makes us want to hide in the dark. But sometimes, within that very darkness, just a small light, a gentle question, a quiet hand reaching out, can save a soul that's free falling. Life, though harsh at times, has never run out of warmth. Love, though it may not shine like the sun every day, still burns quietly like a candle in a hidden corner, always ready to light our way in the darkest hour. You don't have to get through everything alone. You don't have to put on strength to prove anything. Just remember, there are hearts around you, quietly waiting for you to lean on. Could be family, the ones who will welcome you back no matter how broken you feel. It could be a friend who sends a simple message. "Are you okay?" Right when you think no one notices. It could be a stranger sharing a story online, one that mirrors your own, reminding you that you're not alone. Love doesn't make pain disappear, but it gives us a reason to keep going. It's the rope that pulls us back from the edge, the whisper that says, "It's okay, I'm here." And in that moment, you'll realize you're not only living for yourself, but also for those who believe in you, who wait for you, who never gave up on you. Yes, you may have been let down, betrayed, left behind. But please, don't let your pain convince you to shut your heart. Only when we open up can we feel the tenderness life still holds. And maybe someday you will be the light for someone else, someone wandering the same path you once did. We need each other, not because we are weak, but because we were made to love and be loved. A hug, a message, a quiet presence, sometimes that's the bridge that carries someone across the raging river of life. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be ashamed to say you're sad. Because you deserve love just as you've once given it, even in silence. And love itself is life's biggest embrace for a heart that's been broken. Healing is never easy. There's no perfect formula. No magical lifeboat that will carry you out of the storm overnight. But you know what? We can still begin with small steps. Tiny ones. But steady. Step 1. Accept that you are hurting. Many people force themselves to look okay, to not worry anyone, to avoid being a burden. But pain is real. And you have every right to feel it, to cry, to break, to feel weak. Only when we dare to face our pain can we start to heal. You don't have to be strong right away, just be honest with yourself. Step 2. Don't walk alone. When everything collapses, our first instinct is to pull back, to disappear. But that's when we need others the most. Reach out to a friend, a family member, or even write to a safe space online where no one judges you. Sharing doesn't make you weaker, it makes the burden a little lighter. Step 3. Do something small but meaningful. Clean your room. Take a 10-minute walk. Buy a flower and put it on your desk. Write a journal. Cook a real meal for yourself. Listen to an old song you loved. These may not erase the pain, but they are the first puzzle pieces to rebuild your world. Step 4. Be patient with yourself. No one heals overnight. There will be days you feel fine and days you feel broken for no reason. And that's okay. Healing isn't a straight line, it's a spiral. With every loop, you're still moving forward. Don't force yourself to be cheerful. Don't feel guilty for not being better yet. If you're still trying, that's more than enough. Final step, look ahead even just once. Picture a version of yourself, a year from now, smiling gently. There may still be scars, but the eyes are softer. That version isn't perfect, but they've made it through the storm. And today, you are the one who will take your own hand and walk there, little by little. My dear friend, you don't need to run. You just need to not give up. Take it slow. Because at the end of that road, there's not just light. There's you stronger, steadier, radiant like a rainbow after the rain. Life will never be perfect. There will always be gray skies. Rain will fall without warning. But it's in those days when it feels like there's nothing left that we discover how strong we truly are. Because we're still breathing, still moving, still capable of love. Rainbows don't appear because the rain is beautiful. They appear because the sun decides to shine again. And within each of us, there is such a sun, quiet but constant, waiting for us to give it a chance to rise. If today you're still hurting, please don't feel ashamed. If you're crying, let the tears fall. But then gently wipe them away, rise again. And take that next step not for anyone else, but for you. Because you deserve a life that is whole, a soul that is at peace, and a smile as bright and genuine as a rainbow after the storm. Happiness isn't some distant dream. It's right here, in every step you take, in every breath you hold, in every brave choice you make. And as long as you don't give up, as long as there's even a flicker of belief left in your heart, one day when you look up at the sky after the storm, you'll see a brilliant rainbow drawing a new hope. Not for anyone else, but for you, the one who was brave enough to walk through the rain. Thank you for listening.